Hello guys and welcome to Vlogging Project. Today I'm gonna do a review of the Sony Xperia XA. Is it a nice looking greenish mobile phone or is it just another nail in Sony's coffin? Let's find out. So yeah, that's the Xperia XA. Let me just start with the design and build quality, but first of all the color. This lime kind of color is my favorite of the three. You've got the pink and you've got the black as well, but this one looks better in my opinion. Now you've got a plastic back, you've got aluminum sides, the top and the bottom are plastic but they're painted in the same color as the body, and in front you've got Gorilla Glass 4. Now I really like the design because the phone is very narrow and makes the one-hand usability very comfortable, but there are a couple of issues with the design from my standpoint. Now first of all, the button placement. You've got the power button here, you've got the volume rocker behind it, which doesn't really make sense. It should be the power button here, the volume buttons here, and the shutter button. Unfortunately, we've got only one mono speaker over here, and it's really bad, but I'm gonna get into that a little bit later on. Now, the floppy cover over here. Now, it hides the SIM card slot and the memory card slot, but I mean, check this out. What the hell? I mean, that's definitely a thing from the past, and as you can see the assembly over here, that thing is gonna rip off quite easily, and after that you're gonna have the slots exposed. Another thing, the back cover feels kind of flimsy. I mean, definitely there's some sort of a movement over here, and as you can see, I can easily peel it off, just like that. And the problem is that it's not supposed to come off. It shouldn't be replaceable, but yeah, that's one small thing. And also the quality of the plastic. Now, I've had the phone for about over a week now, and as you can see, I really don't know if you can see on the camera, I've got a huge scratch over here, and I've got just a little bit worn over here on the side. I mean, I usually take very good care of my phones, but this one got scratched up extremely easily. So basically what holds the back cover is just a tiny line of glue over here. You can kind of rip it off with your fingernails, put a new one, put some glue on, and you're gonna have it. But that's not the point. I mean, the point is that the build quality, especially for the back cover, sucks. Another thing about the build quality, as you can see the screen, it's edge to edge screen, which is really nice to look at, but there are some quality issues over here. I was playing Mortal Kombat last night on a clear black room, and I saw that there's a difference. I mean, there's a gap between the screen assembly and the frame, and it could be visible only in a certain angle. I'm gonna show the photos. Actually, let me show you the photos of my phone. I did them over here. So there's the phone. There's the phone last night. Excuse me. I'm playing Mortal Kombat, and as you can see, I can see this line over here. Can you see the line? Also, I can see the line from another angle over here, and the bottom is brutal. That's the bottom. That's the very same phone, and that's, as I said, over here. There's a gap between the screen and the bezel. But anyway, apart from that, let's get the specifications out of the way. We're dealing with 5-inch 720p screen, which is an LCD panel. We've got 16 gigabytes onboard storage, 2 gigabytes of RAM, 13 megapixel back camera, flash, 8 megapixel front facing camera, mono speaker, and a MediaTek Helio P10 chipset, which is an 8-core chipset. Now, let's talk about the display quality quickly. Now, I've noticed that, as you can see, the display is almost at 70% now. That's the minimum brightness that you can actually see your screen. If you go any lower, it's way too dim. It's really not pleasant for the eyes. So basically, we're gonna crank up your brightness at least at 70% at all times. And what can I say about the screen? The colors are actually quite well calibrated. As you can see, the picture quality is quite nice. actually unpleasant. The blacks are deep, the blacks are nice, but there's another thing. Especially with the blacks, we have a huge color shift. When you check the screen like that, I'm really not sure if it's gonna be visible on the camera, but basically if you tilt the screen like that on the black background, the black almost looks like negative. I mean, I don't know if that's an IPS glow or whatever it is, but the viewing angles are definitely not good. Although, as I said, I'm totally happy with the screen as it is. It's one of the more higher quality 720p screens that I've seen. Now, we've got the screen out of the way. What about the cameras? Well, I'm gonna say that the rear camera is 13 megapixel, and when the conditions are right, the photos can be really nice. I've got them downloaded on my PC, and I can show you what are we dealing with over here as well. Let me just do like that. Photos. Now, these are some of the photos I took last night. As you can see, that's a nighttime photo. Let me show you like that. That's a nighttime photo. Basically, it's in a shopping mall, and the colors and everything is quite impressive actually. Now that's a selfie, and the selfies I'm really not quite sure, because although it has face detection, as you can see, the focus is behind me and not on my face. I'm a little bit blurred over here. That's another photo in the shopping mall. Quite nice actually. There's another beautiful photo of myself, and as you can see, my mustache is completely blurred. I have totally no idea why. Now that's one outside photo, and as you can see, the level of detail is quite nice for a 13 megapixel camera. One other photo as well. The dynamic range suffers a little bit over here, but it is a little bit dark. And that's the photo that I'm really, surprised that this grass over here is supposed to be, proper green, and instead you've got some sort of a grayish color to it. I really have no idea why. There's a fountain over here, really nice photo as well, small castle, and the video. Let me play the video quickly. Okay guys, it's time to test the video of the Xperia XA. I'm just walking down this path over here, holding the phone with my right hand and trying to be as stable as possible. Basically, on the screen it looks quite nice, but we'll see when the video stops, then what's gonna be the result. Let me just check around over here. Looks quite nice. So yeah, I'm not gonna lose too much time, and I'm gonna stop it here, and we're gonna check it out later on. Let me just jump to see what happens. Alright, see you later. Let me tell you that the video stabilization works absolutely fine. There's a little bit of grain, but the overall quality I'm very pleased about. So to sum up, the rear camera is really good when the situations are fine, and the front camera, it's an 8 megapixel camera, and in my opinion sucks. Now, one more thing about the software of the phone. It's running Sony's skin, and I'm quite pleased to report that you can actually change the themes. You just go to settings. Actually, you can't really change these icons over here in the settings, but you can change the colors. If you go to themes, you've got a couple of preloaded themes. You've got my own theme that I downloaded the PlayStation 1, and you've got get more themes. You've got more themes, and you can even create your own theme, which changes not only the colors over here and the notification shade, but it also changes the buttons over here, which are really nice, because not many phones can actually change the buttons out of the box. However, you cannot really rearrange the layout of the buttons. The software just doesn't allow you. You have to root your phone, go to expose, download the module, and do all that over here. Luckily, you can actually root your phone and do whatever you like with it. So from the software part, as you can see, it's almost stock Android. Okay, you've got Amazon Music, you've got O2 app space. It's an O2 phone. By the way, you can unlock the phone on eBay. It cost me $6 so don't waste your money on that. But basically, the overall skin is pretty light, it runs very smooth, and there's almost no bloatware installed. Now, let's talk about performance a little bit. And I know what you're gonna say. Oh, it's an MTK processor, it's mid-range, it's really bad. Hear me out. I'm gonna show you benchmark first. I'm not a fan of benchmarks by any means, but as you can see the result over here, it's actually not bad, not that bad for a mid-range phone. It doesn't say much really, but I'm gonna show you something else. I'm gonna load up a couple of applications, and although it's not the fastest in the world, my Wi-Fi is a little bit weak, you know, the scrolling and everything else is really quite smooth. You've got an occasional stutters here and there, but yeah, overall, to be honest with you, I'm pretty happy. As you can see, everything is kept running. Everything is kept running in the background. So RAM management, although you've got only 2 gigs of RAM, is absolutely fine, and the overall performance is fine. How about the gaming performance? Because that's something which is very important to me. And I'm gonna show you, let me just clean up all the applications. About the gaming performance, I always do the following. I install Mortal Kombat because it's a heavy game, and I do my tests on Epic Citadel. And I'm gonna show you that on Epic Citadel, I was quite pleasantly surprised when I saw my Epic Citadel. Because, as you can see here, check this out. 720p, ultra high quality, 61.2 FPS, which is absolutely insane, guys. It means that this chipset is absolutely capable of running 720p at 60 FPS, which is absolutely amazing. I'm gonna start up Mortal Kombat and I'm gonna show a very quick demo of what it looks like. It takes a little bit of time to load because the game is 1.3 gigabytes. And by the way, I've got 1 game installed, okay, 2 games installed. I've got 2 video clips, I've got 10 photos, and I'm already running out of storage. So basically, getting a memory card for this phone is an absolute must, because you're running out of storage very, very, very quickly. Right, so we're finally in. Now check this out. As I said, Mortal Kombat is quite a heavy game, and one more thing I should mention, there are no performance profiles in the battery management, which means you cannot basically boost the performance a little bit for a game. It is what it is. Now let's play a quick match. As you can see, it's running absolutely flawless, and usually you can tell how the performance is when you press this button and when this slider goes up and down. As you can see, it's quite smooth. So basically, I couldn't be happier about the performance. I'm gonna show you another game. Oh man, these buttons. We gotta swipe from the bottom to activate the buttons. Anyway, let me show you one more game quickly. That's one of my favorite games at the moment. I'm really wasting my time with it, but that's another story. But man, I could have wished the sound was coming from here and from here as well. They had plenty of space. By the way, that's a waste of space. They could have put an Xperia logo or something like that. I mean, it's a little bit plain, this side here. Now check this out. As you can see, the performance on this game is absolutely flawless. I saw that in the comments a couple of people complaining that they got really low frame rate, they've got stutters, but with this phone I'm having absolutely no problems with that game. Which leads us to the 2 worst things about this phone. First of all is the battery life. Now we're dealing with 2300 milliamp hours battery. And to be honest with you, when I got the phone, firstly, I had a terrible battery drain. I didn't know what to do. I was almost about to return the phone. However, I read a little bit over the internet and I found that there was some sort of a battery drain. I did the update and it got fixed. However, fixed, but still it's not great. I couldn't really use my phone as my main phone simply because of the bad battery life. And let me show you, I've got a couple of screenshots over here. That's over the course of 3 days, 25%. I've got only 1 hour 15 minutes of screen on time, which is quite bad actually. Now for this day, I think I gave it a push. I've got 15% left. I think I was using it for how many? Just one day, as you see. 2 hours 30 minutes of screen on time, and that's Wi-Fi only. That's not even data activated. So basically, if you activate the data on your phone, you're looking at no more than 2 hours of screen on time. It's just the battery just kind of goes down. I mean, during the day, you just see. Oh my god, what's that on my hands? Bloody hell. Anyway, excuse me, I got my hands dirty for some reason from somewhere. I have no idea where this came from. I have totally no idea. But anyway, let's just continue with the review. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is the sound. And the sound, guys, is absolutely hilarious. I mean, when you plug a pair of headphones, these are a very cheap Motorola headphones, like 20 bucks, it cannot drive them properly. I mean, the volume is kind of just about alright, which is definitely not enough. So let me show you the speaker quality. Now, as you can see, there's maximum volume. Check this out. Yeah, you can't go higher than that. Basically, that's one of the worst speakers I have ever heard in my life. A lot of people say, oh, you know, Sony, they do quality, they don't do loudness. Well, guess what? The quality is bad and the loudness is extremely bad. So, what can you do without root? The only option you've got is Volume Booster. That's a free application which boosts the volume. However, I found out, I've played with the settings a little bit, I found out that if you boost the volume above 15%, you've got a terrible speaker distortion. So basically the best you can do is 15%. We can go back to YouTube and just check the quality out now. Check this out. It's a little bit better, but it gets a little bit annoying for your ears. Let's just, for the sake of the test, let's just go back to volume booster. Let's do 60%, let's say, and come back to YouTube. Check this out. Now, it might not seem very bad on the camera, but let me tell you, that's kind of a speaker where you feel that your ear canal is basically suffering. You really don't want to boost that sound. So basically, yeah, that's it. Oh, about the charging time. I don't have the original charger, but I'm using an alternative 2 amp charger, which is basically turbo charger. I've used my Samsung one and I've used the Oki one, and I can tell you that I'm reaching 100% in about 2.5 hours. I'm really not sure if that's gonna be the case with the original charger, but 2.5 hours for that amount of battery is absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, to sum up, guys, where does that leave us with the Xperia XA? I would say that it's a flop, because the screen is kind of nice, the viewing angles are bad, the performance is absolutely top notch, no complaints about here. Very good 13 megapixel camera, so-so or even bad 8 megapixel front facing camera, absolutely terrible headphone output, absolutely terrible speaker output, and the design is kind of nice, but the back cover scratches extremely easily and there are gaps over here on the screen assembly. And the last thing that I want to talk about is the price. Now, when this phone was released last year, the price was £240, as I remember, which is absolutely ridiculous. Now, at the moment, everywhere is discounted to 180. 180, no, it's still not justified. how much I would like to pay for it? No more than £100, no more, because you've got plenty of phones with better characteristics and better, you know, overall feel in about £100. So my advice is, if you find it secondhand and if it's like new for £100, that's a bargain. But if you want to pay the full price, which is 180 for that phone, it's really not worth it, guys. Just look elsewhere. So that's it, basically. Thank you very much for watching, guys. It's a little bit long, but well, I wanted to cover everything. You can also check out my other videos. Subscribe to my channel as well, because I've got a bunch of videos coming out soon. Thank you very much for watching and have a nice day. All the best. Bye bye.